Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another video from Ways Farm. It's Sunday, April the 13th, and it stopped raining finally. Sun hasn't come out, but it stopped raining. And today I'm in the house and I wanted to do something different, sort of in one of my cooking modes. So yesterday when I was out doing my daily shopping, I picked up some things that I needed and currently and going to need in the future. A lot of you that are my friends that follow my channel know that not only do I ride horses, I do a little bit of farming, but I really love cooking and I love to eat good food. Um, I think a lot of that comes from my mom. She was a homemaker and she cooked 3 square meals a day. So I love good home, good cooking. Um, I love one of the cuisines that I love is Spanish food, and so today I'm going to be making what we call sofrito. And sofrito is the base for um, a lot of Latin countries. There is different types of sofrito. The type of sofrito that I'm going to make today is more of a Puerto Rican style, and I was taught this by my best friend's wife over 25 years ago. One day I went over there and had dinner with them, and I was just so in love with the taste of the food. I started asking, how do you make this and where does it all start? So she basically gave me this little yellow piece of paper. This is 20 some odd, it's over 25 years old, this little piece of paper. And she gave me the recipe for sofrito, which is the base. Also, she gave me the recipe for shrimp soup, which in Spanish is camarones de sopa. That's one of the things that she cooked for me and I love. So I'm going to give you the base ingredients for the sofrito. And just so you know how that's spelled, it's Sofrito. I have recao. I have cebolla, which is onion. What else did I have? I have ajo, which is garlic, green peppers, red peppers, and this is what they call an aji dulce. Dulce, I think it's if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, guys, beat me up on the comments. And and cilantro. So those are the base ingredients for the Puerto Rican sofrito that I'm going to be making today. Um, One of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is that when you're making this, it's best to buy fresh, the whole like garlic clove, the whole garlic clove, not the ones that are already peeled. My experience, if you buy the ones that are already peeled, there's just the difference in the flavor and the taste. It's not there. So whenever I make it, I always do the get the garlic and I peel it myself. As you can see, I got my good old trusty blender right here. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to cut these red peppers up into a little bit of smaller pieces and maybe have these onions right here. And then I'm going to start putting them in the blender and then we're going to blend everything up. And it's based really, it's really easy. But this is, like I said, this is the base for, um, the Spanish food, like when you do rice, if you're doing soup, if you're doing beans, and I'm just covering three things. And I knew there's a lot of other things that you can use this for in Spanish recipes, but I'm pretty simple when it comes to Spanish cooking food. I basically do the rice, I do some beans, I do the roast pork, which is pernil. Um, what is it? And also too, actually, you know what? Pollo guisado, which is like a chicken and like a base of broth, or carne guisado, which is the beef, which is in the broth. You can use it in that also, but this is the base for all of those particular recipes right there. And whenever I feel like cooking Spanish food, I have some stored in the refrigerator. I usually keep some stored in the freezer, but I don't have any in the freezer. And the one that I have in the refrigerator, I'm almost out of it. And I know that I'm going to be cooking some Spanish food in the near future. And also, too, the one in the refrigerator is getting a little bit stale, so I'll probably get rid of that and use the fresher stuff. So here's my Not my recipe, it's a shared recipe, but I wanted to share it with you guys. And this is my recipe. Well, it's mine. I've adopted it. My recipe of sofrito. So with that said, I'm going to start cutting things up and putting things in the blender. All right, so here we go. As I said, I'm going to cut up some of these red peppers and some of the onion, and I'm going to start putting things in the blender. So basically, you're just going to cut up this red pepper, start throwing it inside. You're basically throwing some of your ingredients in there. I'm going to cut up this onion. And depending on the size of your blender, you don't want to, you don't want things too big because it'll choke up and it's not going to process the way that you really want it to. You're going to have problems. So drop some of those onion in there. And I try to not throw everything in at one time. So I'll take a couple of pieces of, like 4 pieces of the garlic, ajo. Throw those in there. Now I'll throw some of the green onion. I'm sorry, green pepper. And let me grab one more piece of that, the green. And now I'm going to grab a couple of pieces of recao. Now I have a lot of recao here on this tray. And you want to be careful with the recao because it's really strong. So you may not want to put a lot of it in there. I'll probably take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 10 pieces of it. Slice that in half. Drop that in there. And this is what they call ají dulce. And these are sweet peppers. Actually, this was not on the recipe when I actually got it from my friend's wife some years ago. But I decided to, after tasting it or seeing another recipe, I decided to try it and I liked it. So I'm just going to add a couple pieces in there. 1, 2. And now the cilantro. I'm going to grab a handful of the cilantro and drop that in there. So now I got my first load in there. I'm going to grab one more piece of the garlic. And another thing that I learned is, and that's from experience when I, got things choked up, is if you add a little bit of oil, olive oil. I use the Goya one. It helps out also too to loosen things up. So I add a little bit of that in there. Now I'm going to put my top on. And get it locked down. And hopefully this blender runs when I start it. Start it on low. And now I see that I might need to get in there and turn it a little bit. So I'll take my lid and push things down. And actually, I'm going to put some more in there right now. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of more garlic. And some more cilantro. I'm not making a big batch of this today, because I usually make more than this. But because I really just wanted to share this with you guys. And some more of the recao. I'm going to make a smaller batch. This is like my therapy when I'm in the house and not really doing anything. I just added some green pepper. Now this is the red pepper again. Slice this up and add that in there. And my last bit of onion. And let me tell you something, guys. If the ones that haven't cooked Spanish food before, They sell sofrito in the supermarkets, Goya, but it ain't nothing like this. It don't taste like this. It doesn't give your food the flavor. Um, it's just real generic. And if you really want some really deep, strong, so flavors in your Spanish food, and I'm gonna add this last bit of garlic. I like adding a lot of garlic. If you really want that good, strong Spanish flavor, you got to make the homemade sofrito. So let me put the lid back on. Actually, let me cut this last piece up of the green pepper. Put my lid back on. Power button. And I'm going to start with medium. Push things down in there. Get everything in there, get it so it rotates really good. It's actually starting to really form up good. It's almost done. I'm gonna run it one more time and I'm gonna let you guys see what this looks like. All right, we are done. So, see how easy that was? Now, I've got my sofrito, and let me show you what it looks like. Look at that right there. You take a couple spoonfuls of that, and you put it in your beans, and or whatever you're cooking, whether it be pollo guisado, carne guisado, and some people rub it on their chickens when they're making like a baked chicken, rub it on the inside. Let me tell you something. Sabroso. ¿Cómo se dice? Sabroso. That means delicious. And I guess that should be about it, guys. Oh, yeah. Let me just add this. So I got two of the containers right here. Probably need one more. This is what I store my sofrito in. So I'll fill this one up and I'll work off of this one and the next one that I make fill up. I'll put those in the freezer. And you can freeze this stuff for several months. It'll hold for you. As long as you have good containers, it'll hold for you. I have stored it for several months. And like I said, whenever I get in my mood, man, I pull this out of the refrigerator and I make some good Spanish food. And como se dice, otra vez, sabroso. So that's it, guys. Another video from Wade's Farm. Appreciate you checking it out. Anybody out there got some comments? And I know if some Spanish people watch it, they'll probably say, oh, this or that. But it's all good. This is what I learned. This is the way I learned. And I love it. And like I said, and thanks for just checking out the vid, guys. Sunday afternoon. And I'm on to the next, who knows what, on this beautiful day. To the next video. Ways out.